Welcome everyone to Do More, Be More. Today we'll be talking about a very interesting topic about food trends. Why are we going to talk about food trends? Well, there's probably a bunch right now. There's probably a bunch that passed. Do you need to know what they are? Do they matter? Do they work? Are they crucial? We're going to find out because that is coming up right now. And we're rolling. Basically, I'm not going to wear these for the video. Welcome everyone to Do More, Be More. Oh, come on, don't tell me this thing is still on. Welcome. I'm not going to give you a tour, but we're all going to talk about the food trends. And no matter what, I've always discussed the calorie deficit, high protein, proper hydration, good rest, constant. You do regular cardio and resistance training, and you should pretty much not need to know anything else. But then why are there food trends? Well, honestly, there's always going to be different types of diets, and by all means, if you want to try them, do them. Try them out and see if they work for you. If it's better than getting to know a bunch of details about your macros and all these other things, it's easier than doing all that, then do it as long as it works for you and then doesn't have any actual side effects that are going to get you sick. But on that note, let's talk a little bit about them. First of all, there's been a bunch of them. And some of them have been disguised as others. Some of them are not really all that great. Some of them are actually really good. And, well, let's just talk about, let's give a couple of examples. So, do you remember when there were foods that were all of a sudden superfoods like let's see, I remember when blueberries first came out as this superfood, and then all of a sudden acai berries, and then pomegranate, and then quinoa, and then I found out a little bit about like the chia seeds and stuff. Now, I'm Peruvian, I am from Peru, and chia seeds are really known in Peru and they've been around for years, but for some reason, only a couple of years ago have people found out about them and started eating them and talking about how great they are for you. So why is it now? Well, we're gonna talk about that because a food trend, you kind of have to start wondering why people are talking about them and if it's really something to pay attention to or what. I really like this lighting and I don't know why. But anyways, so I think it's important to do your research and find out about trends, and yeah, I really like this. But whatever you do, make sure you're happy with it. Make sure you're doing it because no one else is telling you to do it. And yeah, everything is gonna have some kind of benefit to it, like I mentioned. So it's all a matter of balance. And once you get that balance, pick foods that are gonna fit your goal. And again, not everything is about losing weight or gaining muscle. Just find out whatever goal you are honestly gonna be happy with and go with that. As far as food trends go, I did decide to look up on one particular, well, I looked up several, and one in particular that did come to me, a food trend that came up, where it was a superfood, as they labeled it. It was goji berries. And that's the one that I decided to pick, particularly because I never had it, and maybe one day I will do a taste test for it. But right now I just did some research on it. So basically, it was a fruit that's been around for forever because it's not like humans made up foods. But I know that they've been around since, at least they've been revered as a healthy food since ancient China. I'm trying to remember the time that was really heavily utilized then, but and then where exactly. But there was a lot of benefits to it, and clearly there are foods like this that have a lot of benefits. But I think that the reason that they have foods like this is like why they have trends is because maybe the market is just deciding to push more sales of these. Maybe right now they're being overproduced or whatever the case is. But ultimately, there could be some real good reasons to doing these things as opposed to maybe just trying to get some sales. So as I'm gonna probably mention a couple of times, just try it and see if you like it, and if you don't, well then whatever, that's you tried it and you only lost a few bucks from doing it. But I think that there's a lot of foods out there for you to have to feel you need to listen to a vlogger because simply, you know, he has a certain following, or she has a certain physique. Whatever the case is, try whatever you want. Don't let people tell you what to do, and then just enjoy what you're doing. That's about it. Hopping back on the food trend topic, basically, it's always going to have at least some kind of a positive message behind it, if not completely made up of it. You're going to always see some special headline saying researchers have found or new studies have shown that such and such food does such and such things and have such and such benefits when you take them at this time. Now, and I'm not against that. I think it's great to promote health and eating right and correctly, and especially if there are things that you'll like. But if it's a food that's been around forever, it's not really a recent discovery. So sometimes it might sound a little bit too good to be true. These foods have been around forever, as I mentioned the example of goji berries. So if we think of human beings, for example, they've never created a food. They've been around forever. So if you hear of a food trend, honestly, it's probably the benefit of it, if I had to think of it, is that it's raising awareness about a food that may not necessarily be at our disposal. Let's say, for example, someone eats salmon all the time because they like the healthy fats that it has, and it has great healthy fats. But it gets expensive. They don't want to meal prep it anymore, or it's hard to find it. They got to go shopping to a different store, and it just adds up, and they just can't do it anymore. So then they hear about a food trend that says avocados are the best food for healthy oils and fats. So they decide to hop on board. They get some avocados. Turns out they love it, and yeah, the food trend in this case was a success. So I'm not here to tell you that food trends are bad. I'm just saying food trends are just trends about food. They shouldn't be what guides our life and how we eat. So use it as a way of trying some new food if you like. I mean, if you haven't tried it already. I've had quinoa all my life, I know that. So it's not really a trend for me, it's just food. So when you try out these foods, if you like them, continue to have them. Don't necessarily have things because people are telling you to have them. And then you should be happy just eating what you love and knowing what they're good for. If you don't need to have them in your life, don't have them, you know. And a lot of these things are also for marketing purposes. We don't know who they're affiliated with, who their business partners are, and they're just doing it just to get some extra bankroll. So always look out for yourself, look out for your bankroll, look out for your own health. And we want to be influenced by good people with good intentions, but we also have to do our own research. If we don't do our own research, no one's going to look out for us if we don't do it ourselves. So that's an important thing to remember. So that is all for today. That's basically my take on food trends. They're not necessarily a bad thing. They could be a good thing, but always make sure that a food trend or a superfood is never going to be the solution for weight gain, muscle gain, weight loss, and all that other stuff. It's all about the numbers. That is measured in numbers. So no one food is going to be responsible for that. Having said that, that is all for today. I really enjoy making these types of content because I do have to do a little bit more research on my own and provide it to you in the best and easiest way possible so that you can understand it, take it with you at all times. I do appreciate the comments that you leave me in the comment section below. I appreciate the support that you give me on Facebook, TikTok, and on Instagram. And remember, everybody, to like, share, and subscribe. I almost forgot to say that. And of course, you already know, if you do more, you will be more.